the Aussie is in a downtrend. As you can see, this sort of head and shoulders scenario. If you look that on maybe on a monthly chart, it would be more apparent. No, not at all. A weekly chart then. So the market has broken the bullish trend. The lows of that move up, the impulse, barring that weekly indecisive candle. I'll just morph that into the bullish trend. So it's broken 66.29 was a key level. It's also broken down here. If I can get that in. 65.63, another key level. And we're subsequently sliding lower and lower. And we're only midweek. Having said that, okay, so I'll bring this to your attention in a moment. Let me just continue this. So we're on the front side of the bearish weekly trend. There's nothing to say so far that this won't continue lower. The market did try to correct higher, and it made let's see how much of a correction it made. Pretty much a 38.2, so that will suffice. Depending on your broker, that was potentially already achieved. The high of that candle there was 65.59, so a handful of pips away, 2 pips away from the 38.2. So that's quite common that you'll see a deep retracement up to the 38.2, a little bit higher, 50, 61.8, and then the continuation lower. So we've got that continuation lower. How much lower can it go? Well, if you pull the Fibbo up, we can see that it's on the approach to the minus 618 of the correction. So from that high to that low. So it's on the way there. So we can just mark that up in the chart. And we'll take out the Fibbo just to clean up the charts. And then we move across. Is that aligning with anything? Not particularly. Right, so for me, the area of interest is that candle there, that transaction candle, the daily time frame. So, I mean, I would regard this as a potential support area. So it can head a little bit lower. I'm not going to suggest that it's going to just continue on and on and on. It's midweek, so what are we? We're going to be Thursday in Asia. So if we were to look at this, then I'm going to look at the weekly template. I'm going to move the charts to a darker color because that's how I've set it for this particular analysis. Okay. So this is how I analyze the week. Clean up this chart. And we'll move down to a 1 hour chart to look at this properly. So this is where we are in the week. The week started over here, this yellow line. So we've come up. So Monday we made a bit of progress on the upside, away from the prior week's low. So let's just clear up the entire. How do I do that? Bear with me. Right, for it, right. So just follow me here. So last week we came down and we're starting to move up into those shorts, but we were rejected. We were rejected. And as we already talked about, that was a 38.2 retracement. Okay, so we've subsequently come down from there. And we now have a scenario whereby the market is short. So you've got all those that were selling, got money above these highs. So we've got a one, so we've got a 1, 2 day, 3 day setup. What we could see here is a scenario whereby these breakout traders that broke last week's low, anticipating a continuation, could find themselves trapped if the market were to turn higher. And in that case, you'd be looking for, now I'm going to have to bring up these drawings again. I'm going to delete all of this. So we start anew. So in that case, what we'll be looking for is a break of the trend. So we're looking for this to peter out around about in the 50s, a little bit lower perhaps. We already talked about that, it could come a bit lower. But eventually to start moving its way back in to all the in the money longs and those breakout traders that will be trapped. So, and it could move decisively higher. So that is my thesis for the time being, that we're going to see a move back up into these shorts. And therefore, we might see these as the week's lows, and then we could potentially move up and up and up on a Friday, move right back in to close down the week pretty much net. And then moving across to Aussie yen, we have this scenario. Now, depending on where you want to draw your trend line, but you could stick it there, or you could argue that we're breaking down the trend again. I'm moving it right in to connect all of these dots. But regardless of that, you've got this area here that could be targeted on a pullback. So if the Aussie, as explained in the prior analysis on Aussie USD, if the Aussie were to turn higher, then obviously Aussie yen would be turning higher, and you'd be coming back up into test the trend line, counter trend line resistance, and this potential area of resistance here. This is the daily chart. So you've got that M formation. Could be that sort of scenario. If the market doesn't just continue higher, correcting up. And you have this potential area of support in here.